I think what Trump is doing here, because there have been rumblings that this memorandum of understanding, it was going to forestall talk about the nuclear negotiations and things related to that, way, way off in the future, maybe like 60 days or something like that, a couple months. And Trump wants the signing. He wants the diplomatic theater of it. He wants Iranian representatives to come, and he wants the handshake, and he wants to be seen as a peacemaker. But Iran does not care about that, does not want that. It is actively radioactive to them to try to do that. And I would make a reasonable prediction that come next week, disagreements over the text are going to come back up again. And then this talk about taking Kharg Island is going to come back in. I don't know if they're going to actually do it. Again, I agree with you that it's probably going to come back up. But something that seems to be rumbling like elsewhere, which I don't think is talked about enough, is the fact that they seem to be pushing, the U.S. government, it seems to be pushing for another invasion of Lebanon from Syria this time.
Yep.
Something that had been done, Lebanon had been under Syrian occupation for decades, but to the detriment of the government. It was a huge fucking problem for them. It's a huge headache for them. And now he's encouraging Jolani to go in there and try to pressure Hezbollah from their side and potentially engage in a gigantic brouhaha over that. I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. I don't know how you feel about this.
I agree. Jolani has been relatively savvy thus far. I don't think he would make a catastrophic mistake like that. I do think it speaks to U.S.-Israeli desperation that is what they're pushing for. And we should say that Trump has invited Jolani, once again, back to the United States on June 14th. In 3 days, he will be in the White House. And the understanding is that Trump will be pushing him, yes, to open a front against Hezbollah. I don't see it happening. The cards that Trump has are reimposing sanctions, the state sponsor of terrorism designation. In terms of sticks, in terms of carrots, potentially a willingness to constrain Israel. He could promise that. In terms of occupying Syrian land, I don't think that really carries any weight whatsoever. And the sanction stuff is very real, obviously. But the indications that I'm seeing from the Syrian side is that they would much rather shore up their relationship with Russia than try to get in bed with the Americans or the Israelis in a way that would be obviously self-destructive. But we shall see. Anything is possible in this crazy world. But I do think it speaks to the kind of broader desperation around how best to manage the Lebanon front.
I think on like an individual brigade level, there are lots of Syrians who would love to go and invade Lebanon. If you recall, when there was that brinkmanship along the border several months ago, there were videos coming out from the Syrian side where they were fucking rearing to go in there and start punishing Hezbollah for everything they did during their intervention in Syria. Of course, inside Lebanon, there are Sunnis who will tell you about the posters that are up in Tripoli where Jolani's face is up there alongside, I've seen posters of MBS as well.
It's like Marx, Lenin, MBS, and Jolani.
Yes.
Like in the cascading.
Oh, God. There was one, I don't know if it was in Tripoli, but there was a poster that I saw of, yes, there was Jolani, MBS, and then Saddam Hussein.
Fire.
And it's like, this is the worst thing you could have possibly fathomed.
Nightmare blunt rotation.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No, and like I remember when the death penalty bill came up in the Knesset, there were gigantic protests in Syria where members of the Syrian military were marching in there and they were demanding to be able to be, sent to Palestine in order to fight the Israelis.
Yeah.
But that decision is not with them.
Yeah.
It is this odd sort of relationship where these individual rebel groups have been integrated into the state as units and still retain that level of I don't know what you call it, social autonomy. But Jolani, political pragmatist that he is not, I don't think at this point, considering a land invasion that would be conducted essentially in coordination with Israel, the state that has been giving him as much as, Jolani is a dog, yada, yada, yada. I don't think he would be willing to go that far, at least at this moment.
What I heard through just kind of the rumor mill is that he didn't totally foreclose the possibility, but said there's no way he would do it if he was not formally invited to do so by the Lebanese state.
Yeah, that's the thing as well.
I just think it's too risky domestically to be openly working with the US and Israel and something like that. And I don't know that the Lebanese state, as traitorous and fucked as they are, would go so far as to invite a foreign invasion from the Syrians.
No. There's the occupation that Syria put Lebanon under still looms very large in people's minds. And yeah, I don't think they'd be willing to do that. Yeah, again, dogs as they are, I don't think it's going to happen. I think we probably should briefly talk about another Iraq war veteran that has changed their ideology.
Yeah.
There were videos that were going around about Graham Platner.